Welcome one and all to the Daily Roundup, starting our season of guest hosts this week, today, because there's going to be a new one tomorrow. See, I'm not used to it already, you can tell it's all new. And how am I listening to myself now? See, I'm not used to it already, you can tell it's all new. That's a good start, isn't it, everybody? Right, that's sorted. Kevin Dunne from Modern Culture, everybody. How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad, cheers. Not too bad. You're joining us here from sunny
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. And yes. from the truck. Are you? Is this your lunch break?
Yeah, this is my lunch break. Yeah. Taking it early.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the way. For those that don't know, Kevin's from Modern Culture, who we did a little interview with you not too long ago, I do believe. But for those that don't know anything about Kevin, I thought we'd start off today's show playing a bit of Modern Culture. So, Kevin, tell us a little bit about Stasis.
Stasis is a song that we sat down in the studio and wrote over the course of a day, which is probably the fastest that we've written a song in that sort of setting. It was sort of just inspired by a lot of bands I was seeing live at that time. Just sort of like the fusion of electronic and alternative music. So that's really where the basis of that track came from.
Awesome. Here we go. This is Stasis from Modern Culture. Can you hear that?
I can, yeah, perfect.
Excellent. That's a first. So what are you up to? What's your work? What's your day job?
I work merchandising for a drink company, so just going in and out of stores and trying to get our product in there.
Okay. Does this mean that Modern Culture may have a drink sponsorship one time?
I hope so. Yeah, they're pretty lenient with their sponsorship, so that's the next step.
That's good. I mean, to be fair, all you have to do is drink their drink. Actually, is the drink worth drinking on stage first? I shouldn't really get you to say it just in case they're watching and it's not.
Right.
So where did you produce this? Is this all self-done or did you go to the studio? Because you've got great sound.
This is all us. I work with Frank Gregg, the last thing he does everything for us. So he's incredible.
Really sweet, warm sound.
Yeah, he's a wizard. I don't know how he does what he does.
So yeah, I've got some interesting music lined up for later. We've got a brand new track from an Irish artist who's kind of bringing back that kind of old school goth rock sound.
Would it be possible to get the music turned down a little bit for my end?
Yeah. Is that better?
There we go. Yeah, much better. Yeah, just so it's easier so I can hear you
Yeah.
during the break.
No worries, no worries.
There we go.
You're listening to XRP Radio, and I'm here with guest host Kevin Dunne from Modern Culture, who's joining us on his lunch break from work. Very kind of you.
Yeah, of course.
So, as part of the roundup, I'm trying to get artists to review other artists for a bit of a change. Kind of get the scene out there a little bit more and see what people think about the up and coming stuff that we've got here on XRP Radio, instead of those usual interviews where we talk all about you. So the guy that I've got here, he's become rather popular, getting lots of airplay across the globe on various radio stations. From Ireland, Paul Dillon, aka P Mad. This guy is insane. He does everything himself. He's a one-man band. And how do I put it? He's just a machine. He has spreadsheets of spreadsheets, quite literally. He keeps everyone's email that he's ever spoke to. He has everything lined up so he knows, like, anytime he has a new release, he's got a spreadsheet that tells him who to send the new release to. Every time he's got a new bit of information, a new video, everything's all lined up in neat little spreadsheets, and he knows exactly what to do with all of them. And this has made him insanely popular.
I need to get in contact with this guy. This guy has his ducks in a row.
I tell you what, it's not, if you like his music, for a start, you should definitely go check him out anyway. He's the most approachable and friendly guy. I actually met him before he was a musician as such, and he was running a group on Facebook, you know, those like the best of independent music kind of groups that are usually really kind of quiet and boring.
Right.
This guy did a best of Irish independent music group, and he was having like competitions every week, and who's the best Irish independent musician in this little corner of Ireland, and it was wild. I've never seen such an active group in my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, apparently the spreadsheets from that helped set him up for the musical side.
Right.
No, I did an interview with him. The fun bit is you know, it's in the second half of his stages of life, shall we say. I'm not calling him old. But I had him in an interview, and he basically just turned around and went, well, you know, I like music, so kind of thought I'd give it a go, really. I was like, brilliant, okay.
Perfect. how it goes.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I haven't actually heard this track yet. It's the brand new track from P-Mad. Yep. I thought we'd review it together, take a listen together, and see what it's like. It's usually in the goth rocky area. I have no idea what we're here to expect yet. So yeah, from Irish artist P-Mad. You can find him on all your social networks at P-Mad the Band, on the / of Twitter, Facebook, etc. This is called Fire. Nice gritty, twangy bass to start.
Would you like it all to burn and disappear? I was halfway to hell. I was halfway to hell, and the heat got too much.
Okay, this is a bit different to his normal stuff.
I was gonna say, it's not what I expected when I heard one man band.
This is definitely a bit more beaty than his other stuff. A bit more electro-y.
Yeah.
He definitely has kind of synthy rock vibe to his other stuff, but those kind of almost drum and bass drops and synths in the background.
Right.
It feels like it's being produced like an electro track with like, you know, all the breaks and the drops and stuff.
Yeah, it's like there's like a lot of
Like here, this bit.
also modern day electronic production.
It's like that bit there, I was expecting it to like drop into a big drum and bass break, but then it stopped.
Right.
Okay, here. If this doesn't go drum and bass, listen. No. It's like it's got real good builds in it, but I'm almost getting let down that it's not going where I'm expecting it to go.
Yeah. That's interesting. That he's not going to the drop there.
That was P Mad with Fire on XRP Radio. For those that are watching on various social medias, so you know, if you want to listen to the tracks uninterrupted, go to xrpradio.co.uk /chat. And for those that are listening on the radio, you can view us and hear us talking in the kind of green room space by clicking on the radio tab to the right hand side of the chat box. So yeah, that it was really well produced. It was completely not what I expected.
Mm. Yeah, when I heard one man band, like
Oh, we've got a frozen Kevin. Oh, you okay there?
we back? Yeah, I don't know
We
why
are
that
back.
happened. All
That's
right.
strange.
Hmm.
So what were you saying there? Sorry.
I was just talking. I was saying when I heard one man band, that was not what I had expected to hear.
Yeah, he normally does the kind of, you know, I don't know if you've heard of The Cure or bands like that kind of goth rock, old school kind of vibe, which you can hear elements of in there, especially in the vocals and stuff. But yeah, not at all what I expected. The production, especially at the end, with that last kind of build, it was almost orchestral. Really good, but like, yeah, really, really unsatisfied every time it got to a drop that didn't drop.
Yeah, it would have been nice to hear that drop for sure. I agree. But I did kind of like that, I did like the sort of the mending of different genres there, especially like the stylistic choices. Like if he had gone into the drop there, I think that that 80s style new wave or goth rock mixed with like the modern EDM style would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he was almost there. And to be fair,
Yeah.
if anything, the whole track had this this horrific feel of anticipation all the way through, because you're like, go here, please.
Right.
I wonder if that was
Right.
a tactical choice. I don't know.
Could have been.
It's something that I remember a video ages ago on YouTube of about a guy that just like kept leading things to certain places and then never actually getting there. And yeah, that track gives me those feels. Okay, let's try something else for you. This time I'm gonna let you generally, hopefully nothing too specific, pick a genre for me, and I'm going to find a piece of music that's brand new in that genre.
Can we do something? Can we do something indie rock?
Indie rock? We can do indie rock. Let's have a look. I mean, bear in mind that this is going to be slightly ambiguous, because again, I'm not going to have listened to this before. I am going by what the people who have uploaded the music have rated this as.
Right.
So this is apparently indie rock. It's by a band called Sonic Property, and it's actually the latest track that we've had uploaded in total, I believe. So again, haven't heard this before. The track's called excuse me. The track's called "Do You Think I'm Unaware?" Off the album Odd Times. So yeah, completely new to me. Let's give it a go.
Freeze the line between our ties. I can't confide in what I have found. Let me stare to keep me there, 'cause I compare to what I have found. You want it, but I need it. Attention all of the time.
They're playing about with their time signatures.
Receive it, increasing all of the time.
Gonna skip in between noises. 3-3 waltz and 5-8. And they're just throwing beats in here all over the place.
Yeah. It's very Linkin Park.
It's like prog Linkin Park.
It's like what, Linkin Park?
Linkin Park on prog. Oh, we lost him again. Are you there, Kevin?
Yeah.
You lost your camera then. Yeah, this is wild. I'm not sure what I make of it. It's another one man outfit. Solo rock project from Hampshire in England. definitely enjoying playing around with his time signatures here.
Yeah.
So having a scroll on his Facebook, and this does sound like it's programmed drums, but like he's got videos of him playing, guitar, playing the drums, playing, all the parts. So it's not just programmed records.
Yeah, maybe it's like a studio recording the program, but I know we have some songs and some of our drums are like programmed because it just sounds like more like what we were going for.
I mean, that's the point of being able to record an album. You can take the music that you play on stage to a different direction. I hate that when you've got an album and you go and see a band and
right.
you just hear the same thing that you've got on the CD.
Right.
Must be. It does look like he does stage performance. I don't know how he puts it all together. I can't find any videos of it, but he's, photos of him on stage with all the stuff. Impressive. Right, here we go. You're listening to XRP Radio for those on the radio, and for those watching us, hello. You can see me. Kevin's lost his video, unfortunately.
I'm still not there?
So we have... No, you are the black square of Kevin.
Oh, it's so weird.
Oh. Yeah, black square of Kevin.
Well,
unfortunate. Sorry. It's alright. These things happen. These technical difficulties. So we just listened to Sonic Property, a solo rock project based in London and Hampshire, England. Impressive for a start, being a one guy, and he's gigging that. So I don't know how he does that on stage. I've been trying to scroll through, find some videos. But yeah,
I wonder if it's a backing track heavy performance.
I would presume so. I have seen people do this stuff with like electric kits and loop pedals and stuff. But
yeah,
that seems like a whole thing.
Yeah, it gave me Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, carry on.
Gave me heavy, specifically 1,000 Suns era Linkin Park vibes. It just had a lot of those production styles and sort of like the melodies and everything, which I personally liked, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was epic. The musicianship side of it, playing around with key signatures and time signatures and just generally being a fancy ass musician, was done very well. You can definitely tell he's proficient in not just composing but playing what he's composing as well, which is a skill in itself.
Yeah, it was very tasteful too. It wasn't it wasn't just these things thrown in there because you can do it. It was like they fit within the context of the song, which is not the most common thing to have when you have music like that.
Yeah, it tends to be an excuse to show off sometimes, and yeah, I agree. Especially, I mean, as a guitarist as well, it was very tame. Some of the guitar licks in there, you can tell he could have sped all that up and played much more fast and stylish. But he kind of kept the phrases fitting with the music, which is. And he's a drummer as well, so like, how do you tame these people like that?
I have no idea. It's crazy. But yeah, I was
That's
a fan of that one.
definitely cool. So that's Sonic Property. If you want to find out more about them, you can get them at facebook.com/slur. Can't speak today. Facebook.com/Sonic Property or sonicproperty.co.uk is their website. Or his website, should I say. He's one. This is the problem with these one-man band outfit kind of things. You kind of get falsified in your head. You think about them as a whole band. You realise it's just one a horrifically impressive person.
Right.
Okay, I think we'll go. Well, to be honest, I need to wake up a bit. So let's go heavy. How are you with heavy music? Like heavy music?
I listen to quite literally every genre of music. So yeah, I like everything. So I am quite alright with it.
1 second, I've just lost a program. Okay. There we go, we're back. Sorry, a little bit of a program crash there.
No problem.
So yeah, you're happy with any genre of music. So, I feel this is another new submission that came in literally 5 days ago, and again, it's another one that is just complete random pick from the new submissions that I haven't heard yet. We're experiencing this music for the first time together. Because that's what I thought we'd do in this first one. See, I hadn't done this before. You're my first. You've taken the Roundup's guest host virginity or something. I don't know where
I'm honored.
I don't even know why I said that. Oh dear. Still a little bit too early for me. Right, here we go. So it's from a band called Maze of Despair. No, it's not. See, this is the metal bands. All their band names and track names are very interchangeable. It's from a band called Infernal Tyrant, with a track called Maze of Despair. And just from those two descriptors, as it were, titles, I feel like this is going to be very, very growly.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, solid start. Solid riff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of cool song. I feel like it's missing the low end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very like I'm trying to think, it's like very like that early like power thrash metal kind of production style that leaves that like it's kind of like missing that, you know?
Holy double kick pedal. That's insane.
That's wild.
That is insane. Okay, the drummer's an absolute machine.
Uh-huh. I like that chanted chorus.
You know, in the last track where he mentioned musicians that were showing off but know their place.
Yeah.
This one was a little bit the other side, but it kind of worked.
Right. It seemed a little bit shoehorned in there.
I wasn't expecting this one. Odd chord progression. I like those keys. That little keyboard in the background, but like really kind of on top of the mix, too much presence.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for these types of parts in songs, like a little bit of like a progressive break.
They may have egged this on a bit too long. It was a nice little progressive breakdown to start with. Now it seems like it's going to turn into a very long outro. A very long outro.
Nice, rest of it's fading out.
Okay, that was Maze of Despair by Infernal Tyrant here on XRP Radio. I'm still here with my guest host, Kevin Dunne, who's joined me from Modern Culture to listen to some tunes and review them in the first of our Roundup guest host-a-thon, whatever it is. Yeah, that was the start of it was epic. The drummer's a machine. The guitarists are riff manufacturers. It was a little bit show-offy, but kind of in a goodish way. They got away with it because they were absolute machines.
Right. Yeah, I feel like metal's an easy genre to be able to be like show-offy in.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I liked. First of all, our drummer, his brother is in progressive black metal band, and it gave me a lot of the same used a lot of the same sensibilities, and it gave me the same sort of vibe, which I liked. So like we were talking about how they had that little well, I thought it was going to be a break, it ended up being just the outro.
Yeah.
I was a fan of that. I like the guitar tone, I like the solo, and also like you said, the drummer was a machine.
Monster.
I could just we have this venue here in Philly called the Electric Factory, and the roof is entirely like tin metal, and you have a lot of heavy bands that play there. So whenever they're doing the double kicks, it like you can just hear the roof just like rattle, and that's just one of those songs where I'm like I can hear that just absolutely blasting at the Electric Factory. So good on them for that.
I'd say the start of it was epic, and if that breakdown was a breakdown, that would have been a lot better. I thought it was going to be like a long progressive guitar play out, but then I realized that it went through that weird chord sequence, but the guitar riff was just getting repeated over and over again.
Right.
Which yeah, so that happened for way too long. But other than that, I mean, the production was decent. I felt like it was missing a lot of the low end. I did say that earlier.
Yeah, for
I,
sure
I
was
wanted
missing.
a lot
Yeah.
of. I wanted some more growl out of it. So anyway, you mentioned a venue. What's your local music scene? What's the music scene like to Kevin Dunne from Modern Culture?
We're blessed to be in a city that has a great local music scene. There's so many independent venues in Philadelphia. I mean, there's less now that people got sort of ravaged by everything that's happened over the past few years.
Oh,
But
Kevin,
you know,
do you
hmm,
remember I said that I've got a parcel arriving?
yes.
There we go. One second.
Oh, all right.
One sec.
I'm taking over. This is how I take over XRP radio.
That's me. Jesus Christ. Could that happen at a worse time? Right. Thanks for entertaining the masses as you obviously just did.
Yes, of course.
That was the worst time. So yeah, because of the roundup, we've got a new mixing desk, which I was hoping to arrive before we started, so we could have better sound. But there we go. So sorry about that. You were talking about your music scene. Where did you get to? You're pretty lucky because.
Yeah, we live in a really good area for it. We have a lot of independent venues and a lot of people that are like generous enough to open like their homes and throw basement shows or small little
cool.
intimate living room shows.
That's
So
very
it's
cool.
great.
We don't get much of that in the UK. Bedroom shows or living room shows or stuff like that. What do you like? How do I put it? What do you do? Do you sell tickets? Do you, or is it just a fun party basically?
They're fun because like there's really like little. There's not a lot of pressure to sort of have to bring people. Like these people just live at these places, so you're not really worried about like a venue trying to like make money or whatever.
Yeah.
You kind of want people to just come hang out, have a good time, and just enjoy the music. You're not worried about how many people are coming through the door and if those people come through the door, are they going to buy drinks and all that type of stuff. So it's a lot more just like just a pure music experience and just totally about the music and just having like a good time.
That's awesome. Do
Yeah.
you take merch there? Sell CDs?
You
that
can.
kind of stuff?
You can sell merch there. We don't have any merch at the moment, but when we do have merch, you can just set up a table. People still buy merch. I think people are more inclined to buy merch at those shows because it's you pay $5 to get in, and then it's usually like a BYOB. So at the end of it, you bring a 6-pack, you're like $13 deep by the time you get there. So you have like people are just like, yeah, I'll buy a shirt or a CD or what have you. And so I feel like you're actually oddly enough more successful in selling merch at a show like that.
That's really interesting. Yeah, we don't have, no one does anything like that over there. Yeah, stuff's too regulated. People wouldn't want to take the liability and insurance and blah blah blah. They just would never happen here. There's probably a few rich ass posh people that get away with doing it. But
right, where it's the opposite here. It's like the people who live in like the city that get away with it, and then you go to like you can kind of tell like what neighborhood you go into, like what show is going to get shut down, based on like how the neighborhood looks.
Okay, so it's not entirely legal, shall we say, or is it basically like as long as it's not loud enough to piss, or as long as someone isn't pissed off, it happens?
Right. It's yeah. I mean, everybody's totally like super respectful. Like, it's not like this thing where people come and like destroy like the surrounding neighborhood. Like, people just come hang out,
Mm.
have a good time, and listen. Like, it's just sometimes you get like a crockety like old person who's just like, I don't want
Yeah.
this happening, and you just have to shut it down. But it's not like it's very rare. I've maybe had like I think I've had 2 shows total that have ever been shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's wild. It's great. I love the idea of it. I'd love
Mhm.
to do it myself. I know there's no possible way that I wouldn't have the police at the door in 5 minutes.
Right.
No, no possible way in the UK.
Yeah.
That's cool. Um, so what do you is the independent scene something that you'd like, and DIY music and that kind of thing, something that you'd like to keep it, or if the right record deal from one of the biggies, Universal, came along, would you jump on that and sell out for the fame?
Oh man, it entirely depends. I mean, I would never sell out. There's like not that I even think it's like it's possible. Like, I don't think that that's just an opportunity that I would have to turn down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's weird. I think we're kind of seeing this point in the music industry where there is kind of like I feel like a lot of the time during the 2010s there was this sort of like notion that like the middle class of music was dying, and it was either you were just a super poor struggling musician or
Yeah.
you were just a massive massive part of it. um,
Yeah.
and I think we still have a lot like more that needs to be done, and like it's not like we're not like, oh, it's been figured out, we're good to go. But I think that there's sort of with uh, streaming and just how easy or accessible it is to get yourself out there relative to what it has been. um, I feel like there's a lot more labels that are kind of at the behest of the artist, which I think is nice. So like if there were a label that were to come along and sort of be like, we like what you do and we want you to do that on our label, I would for sure do that.
Yeah. No, I do see what you mean. Um, I fear that um, a lot of labels and a lot of promoters even got very lazy with the likes of Facebook and Spotify, and they started looking for a very long time towards kind of numbers and algorithmical decisions. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
these guys have a lot of people on Facebook, so they can probably pull a crowd at a venue, or
Right.
these guys have a lot of plays on Spotify, so let's get them a record deal. Let's get them
Hmm.
in recording studios and stuff. And I think that in itself just completely ruined the music scene, but also made it ridiculously saturated with
Oh yeah.
influencer style musicians, is what I like to call them.
Yeah, there is a crazy amount of artists that blow up, like especially on TikTok specifically,
Hmm.
who have just never even played a show. Like there's so many bands where I've heard them, and my first inclination is to be like, oh, how are they live, and look them up. And there's no videos out there. There's an artist, Dominic Fike, who didn't blow up on TikTok. He just got big. I don't know how, but he didn't perform live for almost. There were no videos out for like a year after his first hit, and then he started performing, and like it was kind of shaky because there's a lot of these artists that just don't have any experience performing
Yeah.
live. Their entire experience in the music industry or playing music is just sort of like getting exposure online, and that's like what they've done. And it's kind of
Yeah,
weird to see. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I guess it's just really new, and it's weird.
I think yeah, it's a new way of consuming entertainment as a whole, music. And the one good thing, I guess, that came out of COVID. I don't want to say good thing about it too
Right.
much, but
Right.
was that it gave it pushed artists to the internet and gave them a lot of tools that they could use, because the music scene was kind of dying and a lot of venues were dying anyway, and then COVID kind of axed a big chunk of them. It gave artists another outlet, or kind of forced artists to realise that outlet. But I think the biggest danger, more than anything, that not one person that I have heard talk about yet, is if you're a startup artist and say, like, who was the artist that you just mentioned? Sorry.
Dominic Fike.
So say he started off, he's made his track, he's coming up on the internet, on Facebook, on these social media platforms, right? Now there's that much additive, shall we say. It's like, I've noticed even on Facebook Messenger, if you do a video call on Facebook Messenger, there's now a touch up button, and it touches your face up. It does a quick Photoshop of your face.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's like, yeah, and you've got all of these effects and layers that you can put on yourself. All of your home studio compressors and limiters to make sure your voice just sounds perfect, even though you're just talking.
Right.
And then then to go on stage and be that raw. I think some artists are scared to be without that kind of paintbrush of internet makeup, I guess, in front of them, and I think it's detrimental to the live scene and the live band scene and whatever, because you've got these artists that have got themselves into, and they've got a certain personality that they've portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with once you hit a stage is that personality, if you fake to that personality, if it's a facade, you can't drop it. At least in front of a camera, once the camera's off, you can do whatever you're doing and know what, it's not a problem. You hit the stage, you're going out. People are going to see you for who you really are. And I don't think a lot of people want that to happen.
Yeah, there is like a weird, like, there is a weird, like, the disconnect between like how people are portrayed online and their actual real life. I don't want to say personality, because it's not necessarily like the word I'm thinking of, but I mean, you look at like when aesthetics became like a major part of music. I mean, really a long time ago they did, but like with like, I think like 10 years ago when the neighborhoods started coming up, and they were just entirely like something as simple as their entire look was monochromatic and it was black and white. And then they start playing these shows and things start popping up where it's just not in black and white, and people are just like, oh, okay, you gotta take that away, and this is actually not like the music's okay, but like the image is what everybody was like attracted to. And now it's like, I feel like people are just so image obsessed, and then when you go see that in person and you're like, oh, that's actually not what it is. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like people put a lot of energy into these artists that are so image obsessed, and then it doesn't meet that expectation in real life, and then they're just like, okay, and then they're on to the next thing. It's just like, I think it might be kind of, I don't know, it's kind of exhausting, like, to watch. And then I'm sure it's probably exhausting as a consumer to have all these artists that you just kind of go from one to the other. I don't know.
Well, you know what, like, I don't know whether your social media is similar to mine, and my partner's, but we get kind of attacked with videos all about like ADHD. This is what living with ADHD is like. And okay, yeah, cool. Right, my head's all over the place like that. I can't focus on one thing. I'd probably get a diagnosis of that, but that's not the point. The thing is, when you've got this much content being just thrown at you with this image obsessed 5-minute mentality, no wonder people. Do you know? This is one thing that I always laugh at. My missus will sit there on her phone scrolling Facebook, right? But now Facebook has got that. Now iPhones have got that video in video thing, so she will have. She'll be watching Facebook Reels and have a YouTube video on.
It's crazy. It's wild.
It's you know, you realize why artists are becoming influencers over musicians these days. You know,
Hmm.
it's their face. You see some of the successful bands, and most of their videos are them chatting and talking about stuff, and then occasionally you get a music video in between it all.
It's crazy, and it's just wild. Like to have these like where I mean, it's not totally new. It's about like 2 years old at this point, but like
Mhm.
writing a song to be a TikTok sound,
Yeah, yeah.
where it's just like it's like okay, like we have about 30 seconds to get somebody's attention. Let's just do that, and then we'll write the rest of a song around it, which like goes back to the attention span thing, where it's just like people just want something like it's I don't know, it's crazy. It's a wild world we live in with the social media.
I blame going back through with music. I blame the original iPods because I remember my mates they'd have like the original iPods where you could store like 20,000 tracks or
Oh
something
yeah,
on your one MP3 device with the little dial wheel annoying thing.
yeah,
And my mate would sit next to me on the train, headphones in. He'd be like, "Listen to this." I'm like, "All right, that's quite good. That's good." Oh no, listen to this, and I'm only listening to like 20 seconds of 100 fucking song. Like, I want
right,
to know what the song's like, please. And you do.
right.
It's the same thing. You get these TikTok people, yeah, like you said, making their 30-second song, and then you've got like 2 minutes of laziness around it when you go on Spotify and listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember when Jack Harlow dropped one of his tracks last year. It was like the sound blew up on TikTok before the song dropped, and then the song dropped, and it was kind of just that like sample, that like 30-second
Yeah.
sample for like the whole song, and everyone's just like, this is kind of lazy. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of songs.
Yeah. Yeah, you're quite right. I'm looking at the time. We've got 8 minutes left. I want to make sure that we play another one of yours as you've been my guest before you go. And then we'll be handing over to Joe and the Killogic Effect. So, modern culture. What's going on with modern culture? It's not meant to be a modern culture interview as such, but before we play
Right.
this, what's coming up for you? What have you got coming up?
Uh, a lot. We got one show this Saturday, which is just me acoustic, little porch fest thing, and then we're actually fully expanding into a full band. We're having everybody come in next Friday to start learning
Excellent.
everything because we're putting out a new EP soon. We're just sort of getting that all together at the moment. Um, so yeah, putting out an EP, switching to full band, gonna be playing a ton of shows over the summer, hopefully, and yeah, big things coming up.
Sweet. Looking forward to hearing more
Thank you.
from you.
Yeah,
Um,
hell yeah.
got going a little bit back to the music that you've already got out. Got Streets queued up. So for those listeners that have not heard it before, give them a little intro for it.
Streets is a song that I wrote during the pandemic. It was when I was listening to a lot of the early 2000s indie music, and I sort of just wanted to pull some inspiration. Sort of song just about finding yourself during a period where there's not a lot of other distractions that you can distract yourself with.
Wicked. Here we go. This is Streets Modern Culture. Okay, so after this, we'll do a quick little goodbye chat, and then it'll be kind of the reverse of what happened, so the doors will close.
Cool.
And that'll be that.
Sweet. Yeah, sorry about the
Hand over
technical
to-
difficulties.
No worries. I had to get up in the middle of a show and answer my door, so
It's all good.
you can't plan it. The worst thing is, I had I'd like booked it so it was meant to come. The earliest I could get it was 20 minutes before the show started, and I kept getting the text updates, and it was all ready to. And then I got a message when I messaged you saying, "Oh yeah, no, it's showing nothing. Sometime in the next 2 hours." But I got a new toy to play with, so that's the kit on this really pops.
What's that?
The drum kit on this really pops.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, this
is it
was,
is it a live kit and just really heavily compressed? Or?
It's actually I was doing it all myself, so I just programmed the drums and just put it with the root.
They sound really good for programmed drums. Like, now I'm listening closer. That the hi hat you can tell a bit more. But...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the hi hat. Now I listen to it, yeah, you can tell that like they're really good samples. Really good samples. Oh, I can see your face again.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I don't know why that happened. I did all the drum programming on this, and then we recorded live drums. We kind of just like how direct the programmed drums were, so we just decided to keep those and just heavily compress them.
Yeah, it works really well.
Like, yeah, we thought the same. We're like, yeah, we didn't want to use programmed drums. We're like, fuck it. I mean, a lot of the bands that during that time did, so it felt a little bit more authentic to just do it anyways.
Again, I don't have too much of a problem as long as the drummer that you have, if you go into stage, can play if you're programming drums because you can't play them, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, he can play this. We have a whole track of him doing it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So I haven't got a problem with
Yeah.
it, but. As I mentioned to you before, it's good to have a different sound on an album than what you have on stage. Otherwise, there's no point in you performing.
Right.
Here we go. Streets Modern Culture here on XRP Radio. I have been here with my guest host of the day, Kevin Dunne from Modern Culture. So thank you very much for taking your lunch break. Have you got time to eat? Have you eaten?
I get done pretty early today, so I'll grab something on my way home. It's no big deal.
Okay, happy days. Well, again, thank you for joining us. You are welcome to join us again for the Roundup if you fancy checking out some tunes and having a chat in future. Please do come back.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Wicked, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, without further ado then, thank you very much for joining us, and I will see you later.
See ya.
There we go.